After cutting and folding the material in half, prepare to paint it. I've already painted one side with Vote Lawyers Out. I'm going to start painting this side with Vote Lawyers Out, and that's the next step. Here I finished the word vote. I'm going to start the word lawyer now, and basically I just position it. I try to start in the middle and work to the sides. I find this is easier to keep the letters more uniform in the words. So I'll start with the Y in lawyers and work in both directions and put the word lawyers in the middle. Here's how I got the first part of the lawyers done. I'll finish the rest of the word lawyers and let you see how it turns out. And here's lawyers. Now I'll put the word out in, and that will conclude this particular sign. I'll show you how to make the frame shortly. And there you have it. There's one sign painted on both sides. I basically took a piece of material, folded in half, and painted Vote Lawyers Out on both sides. So now we'll go to making the frame, and we'll see as I describe the parts for the frame and how to glue them together. And I always try to make the frame so that we can get these signs up high so people can read them. And I make big bold letters so that they're simple and people can read them quickly. Okay, this is how the tools you'll need to make a PVC protest rack. This is a nice little ratcheting pipe cutter. You can generally pick them up for 12 bucks. They're nice to grab. It allows you to cut a 10-foot length. The pipe comes in 10-foot lengths. And I've pre-cut the pipes. The main pipes are, the first one, the big one, is a 1-inch pipe. And what I do is I get a 1-inch coupling, which this is, okay? And then what I do is I get a 1-inch to 1/2-inch coupling, okay? And what happens with these is these go inside of this. And when you glue them, you push them way down, and that way you can have a big, strong pipe to hold on to while you're walking, and your sign can be hanging off of a little 1/2-inch pipe. Okay, I also put a cap on the bottom of the pipe, the big pipe, so as you're walking it doesn't break. And that's what this part is. Okay, and the last part I buy is a T. And now what I do with the T is I cut 2 small lengths of pipe, okay, that are half the width of my sign, whatever length of sign I want to do, okay, and I put one side in this in the T and the other pipe in the other T, and then my support that I'm carrying goes up into the bottom, and I'll glue this side and this side with the short pieces that will go in the sign. This I will not glue. And the bottom of the pipe will go down to my walking stick, basically, that I've made up, and it will insert into this. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll start putting it together, and what you'll need in addition is a good all-purpose cement, PVC cement, and a good all-purpose cleaner for the cement. Mine's a little rusty, it was hanging out in my shed. But that's okay. It's still fine, didn't dry out, and a tape measure. So that's basically all you'll need to make a protest sign. So I'm going to take some cleaner, and I'll start cleaning parts. You go around the outside of the part and the inside of a part. I'll assemble this first. Okay, and you clean it, and then you put glue on both parts. So that's what I'll do now. Okay, there's the part. I've assembled and glued it. Okay, it goes together nice and tight. Okay, so that part's assembled. So what I'll do now is I'll let that kind of dry a little bit. I'll put this cap on the bottom of the walking pipe. Okay, I cut them to 5 feet because they come in 10-foot lengths. And that way I just bring my tool with me to the store. I cut them in half, and 5 foot seems to be nice and fits in most cars. So a 5-foot length will be fine. And I'll put this on the bottom, and I'll show you what that looks like when I'm done. Okay, there it is. It's all done. I basically glued it on the bottom of the big pipe. And now what I'll do is I'll glue the coupling that I inserted the reducer on. Now remember, it's a 1-inch to 1/2-inch reducer. Now the reducer's already glued in there. So now I'm going to glue it onto the other end of this pipe that I just did. Now this is a 5-foot long pipe, and I'll be gluing it onto the other end. So I'll pop it on that end there, and I'll show you what it looks like in a minute. Okay, there it is, all finished. Okay, my walking stick is now ready to go. So I can basically walk like that now. It can walk and do a fine job holding up the next part that I'm going to make. Okay, I got my other parts ready to assemble. This is basically a 2-foot long 1/2-inch pipe. Okay, and this is a 2-foot long 1/2-inch pipe. And this is a 1/2-inch T. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean and glue both of these pieces and assemble that. And then I'll clean and glue this piece into there also. So I'll end up with a nice strong T. I'll assemble that and show you in a few seconds. Okay, there's the part all assembled. Both pieces are in nice and tight, glued nice and safe. Now basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it together outside and give you a full view of what it looks like totally assembled. But by doing this, you can drape a sign over both sides of this. So you can have information on one side, information on the other side. And also the way that I connect the signs to this support is with tie wraps, just small little tie wraps. I'll get a few and I'll show you what those look like. Okay, here's the tie wraps. They're just simple little tie wraps. They have a little thing on the end that allows you to loop it around, stick it in. So this goes in there, and then you pull them tight. And I generally will put 2 on either side of the sign. Sometimes I'll drill a hole in the end over on the very end of the pipe just to hold the sign further out. The majority of the time, these signs, these little posts, these are maybe 30 cents, and the 10-foot length of 1/2-inch pipe is like $1.50, and the 1-inch pipe is maybe $3. So for under $10, you can have a whole sign made up. And I generally give these away at rallies. I get a bunch of people carrying various signs, so I assemble quite a few of them, and then I give them away. And the reason for doing that is to create public outcry. That's the whole purpose of rallying, is you're creating public outcry. So hopefully you can get out there and make a difference and get heard. Put your messages big and simple. I'll show you what my signs look like in a little bit, and we'll go from there. Okay, this is the sign with its post on. Okay, this is the frame. Now these 2 pieces here, okay, what you do is you take this right here and you just assemble it into there. Okay, what you basically end up with is a sign that can be 10 feet tall. Okay, so that's basically the frame. Okay, and that's what we're trying to do right there. End judicial corruption of our legislation. Tyrants equal lawyers in our legislation. Vote lawyers out. Okay, that's what we want to do. End judicial corruption of our legislation. Tyrants equal lawyers in our legislation. Vote lawyers out.